Good morning, students! Welcome to another day of learning and fun. I am Miss Valerie and I will be your English teacher for today. So for today, we will be discussing historical context in Afro-Asian literature. Here is our objective. We will analyze literary texts as expressions of individual or communal values within biographical context, historical context, sociocultural context, and linguistic context. But first, how does literature reflect the history and culture of a country and its people? That's right. Literature is like a mirror that reflects the soul of a nation. It records its history, celebrates its culture, critiques its flaws, and envisions its future. Through stories, poems, and other texts, we come to understand how people think, feel, and live in different times and places. Now, let's start with historical analysis through local colors. First, look at these pictures. What do you think is the common among them? What are they made of? Mm-hmm. Very good. They are what we call silk. So let's discuss a brief history of silk. So silk is a fabric first produced in Neolithic China. Again, remember, it is from China. So it is from the filament of the cocoon of a silkworm. It became a staple source of income for small farmers, and as weaving techniques improved, the reputation of Chinese silk spread so that it became highly desired across the empires of ancient worlds. As China's most important export for much of its history, the material gave its name to the great trading network, the Silk Road, which connects East Asia to Europe, India, and Africa. Not only used to make fine clothes, silk was also used in wall hangings, banners, and many other products. Now let's discuss this story entitled Spring Silkworms by Mao Dun. So it is only a synopsis. Now let's read. As the story opens, spring is approaching in what was once a highly productive part of southern China. The elderly peasant Dong Bao laments that nothing, China's political and economic stability, his family's fortunes, the local power structure, the farmland, the crops, the canal, even the spring weather itself is how it is used to be. It is not a season of renewal, for everything seems to be in decline. Foreigners, both Western and Japanese, dominate the country economically and rival money lenders and pawnbrokers in exploiting the peasants. Now, question. What is Dong Bao's attitude towards the arrival of spring? And why does he feel this way? Very good. Dong Bao feels pessimistic and disheartened about the arrival of spring. Instead of seeing it as a season of Instead of seeing it as a season of renewal, he sees it as a time of decline because everything around him has deteriorated. So Dong Bao is very, very sad. Next question. How does the story describe the impact of foreign influence on the local community? Very good. The story suggests that foreigners, both Western and Japanese, economically dominate the country and exploit the Chinese peasants. Their presence adds to the hardship already caused by local money lenders and pawnbrokers. So in other words, the country is dominated by foreigners, not Chinese. Third question. Which aspects of life does Dong Bao believe has worsened compared to the past? The answer is, Dong Bao believes that many things have worsened. So almost every aspect have worsened. So yung China's political stability, yung family situation niya, the local power structure, the farmland, the crops, everything. Even the weather. So ganon ka-pessimistic or ganon ka-depressed si Dong Bao. So ang lahat, tingin niya is worst. Now let's continue reading. So to his despair, the efforts of the new nationalist government to rid China of the foreigners seems ineffective. So they are trying to get rid of the foreigners, but it is ineffective or hindi siya successful. And the recent fighting with the Japanese in Shanghai has left the silk weaving factories there idle, a situation that will have a negative impact on him and the other peasants who raise silkworms for income. So with the recent fighting between the Japanese and the Chinese in Shanghai, nagkaroon na apektuhan yung mga silk weaving factories. And it has a negative impact kay Dongbao and other peasants na nag-aalaga ng silkworm. Heavily in debt, after losing his rice fields and with his winter food supplies nearly gone, Dongbao hopes that a good crop of silkworm will wipe out his debts and give his family enough to live on. So, Dongbao was hoping na magkakaroon siya ng maraming silkworm so that makakapag-produce sila ng silk. Now, let's have a question. Why is Dongbao worried about the recent fighting in Shanghai? So, bakit siya nag-aalala? As what I've mentioned a while ago. Very good, because the fighting has shut down silk weaving factories, which will negatively affect him and other peasants who rely on selling silkworms for income. So sila, nagre-raise kasi sila ng mga silkworms, binibenta nila dun sa mga factories na gumagawa ng silk. Next question. What is Dongbao's current financial situation? So, kamusta naman yung kanyang financial situation? He is what? He is heavily in debt. Sa Tagalog, baon sa utang. So, he has lost his rice field. So, may palayan siya before, pero nawala. And yung supplies niya, yung winter food supplies niya, ay malapit nang maubos. Third, what does Dongbao hope will improve his family's fortune? So, saan na lang umaasa si Dongbao para ma-improve yung kanilang situation? Very good. So, he hopes that a good crop of silkworm will help him pay off his debts and provides enough for his family to live on. Okay, so yan yung kanyang hope, na magkaroon siya ng maraming silkworm. Makapag-raise siya, makapag-alaga siya ng maraming silkworm so that maibebenta niya yon para makabayad siya ng utang. Now, let's see kung magagawa nga niya yon. Now, let's continue. Now, Dongbao has two sons. Asu, the elder, is much like his father, tradition-bound, dutiful, and superstitious. And he believes that the family's precarious state is their fate and that little can be done about it. So the younger, Aduo, believes that nothing will change unless people change first. So see, they are quite different. Si Asu at si Aduo. He is cheerful, si Aduo, he is cheerful, outgoing, and even rebellious. And he lends a helping hand to any hardworking village woman, with some of whom he also flirts. So, Dongbao quarrels with those in the village who want to use better quality foreign, presumably Japanese eggs rather than Chinese eggs for hatching silkworm. Okay, so here, we have seen that Dongbao has two sons, si Asu and si Aduo. But as you can see, they have contrasting qualities. Now, question. How are Dong Bao's two sons different in personality and beliefs? Just like what I've said a while ago, Asu, the elder one, is traditional, dutiful, and superstitious. So, believing their situation is fated and unchangeable. On the other hand, si Aduo naman is cheerful, outgoing, and rebellious. So, believing that change depends on people's action. Next question. What is Aduo's attitude towards others in the village, especially in women? So, si Adobo is helpful and friendly. So, mahilig siyang tumulong sa mga village women. And sometimes, he also flirts with some of them. Now, last question. What issue causes conflict between Dong Bao and others in the village? Again, what issue? Very good. So, Dong Bao disagree. So, ayaw niya with villagers who want to use better quality foreign silkworm eggs. Kasi, ang gusto niya, Chinese eggs or eggs ng silkworm from Chinese. So, ayaw niya mag-agree dun sa iba niyang kapitbahay na gumamit ng Japanese silkworm eggs. Now, let's continue. Because of his hatred of foreigners, he patriotically resists buying foreign eggs. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ayaw niya kasi sa foreigner. So, even yung mga foreign silkworm eggs ay hindi niya binibili. So, he borrows money from relatives not only for Chinese eggs, but also for mulberry leaves to feed the silkworms after they have hatched and as they weave their cocoon. So, ang kinakain kasi class ng silkworms ay mga mulberry leaves. So they begin the exacting, highly work-intensive, almost ritualistic preparation of the eggs for hatching and for feeding and nurturing the silkworm. So during this 2-week period, no one gets much to eat, for all the money is spent on additional mulberry leaves for the ever-hungry silkworm. So, even yung kanilang food, sinet aside muna nila at yung kanilang pera ay pinambili ng mulberry leaves pampakain dun sa mga alaga nilang silkworm. Now, question. Why does Dong Bao choose to buy Chinese silkworm eggs instead of foreign ones? So, bakit ayaw niya ng foreign silkworm eggs? Because of his strong hatred of foreigners. So, ayaw niya nga kasi sa foreigners kahit yung foreign eggs, no? So, what does Dong Bao do to support the silkworm raising process? So, ano ang ginawa ni Dong Bao para makagawa sila na or makapag-raise sila ng silkworm? So, he borrows money from relatives to buy Chinese eggs and mulberry leaves to feed the silkworm. Take note, baon na nga sila sa utang. But still, nag-try pa rin siya to borrow. No? Nanghiram pa rin siya ng pera sa kanyang mga relatives. What sacrifice do Dong Bao and his family make during the 2-week silkworm raising period? So, they go hungry. So, kasi nga, they prioritize yung food ng kanilang mga silkworm, yung mulberry leaves. So, instead of buying food from themselves, yung pera nila na hiniram nila from relatives ay binibili pa nila na mulberry leaves for the silkworm. Now, let's continue. Keeping a day and night watch on the silkworm's food and warmth, everybody becomes sleep-deprived, stressed, and prone to quarrel. So, kasi nga, gutom, tapos puyat, halos nag-aaway-away na daw yung pamilya ni Dong Bao. So, because Lotus, the flirtatious young wife of an old neighbor, seems to have made careless errors in her early preparation, her silkworm harvest is ruined. So, consequently, she is considered unlucky and is ostracized from the community. Tandaan nyo, ang pangalan ng babae ay si Lotus. So, one night, while the younger son, again, sino nga yung younger son? Si Aduwo. Very good. So, one night, while Aduwo is keeping watch, he discovers that the angry, resentful Lotus has stolen some of his family's silkworms and thrown them into the stream. So, in spite of her mean-spirited behavior, he allows her to leave and tells no one. So, ano ang ginawa ni Lotus? Dahil nga nasira, nagkaroon ng error yung kanyang preparation sa silkworm, yung kanyang pag-raise ng silkworm, yung kanyang mga silkworm ay hindi lumaki ng maayos. So, because of that, ano ang ginawa niya? So, ang ginawa niya is, kinuha niya yung silkworms ng family ni Dongbao at itinapon niya daw sa stream. At ito ay nakita ni Aduwo. But still, anong ginawa niya? He allows her to leave and tells no one. Pinaalis niya pa rin si Lotus at hindi siya umimik. Wala siyang pinagsabihan. Question. How does caring for the silkworm affects the people involved? They are all what? Okay, so they are all sleep-deprived, puyat, stress, at easily prone to arguments. Kasi nga, ang focus nila is yung silkworm's food and warmth. So, why is Lotus ostracized by the community? Bakit unlucky yung tingin sa kanya ng community? Kasi, her silkworm harvest failed due to careless mistakes. Kasi nga, kaya ayaw sa kanya nung mga tao or ang tingin sa kanya ay malas kasi nga yung kanyang silkworm ay mga hindi naging successful. Last question. What does younger son do when he discovers that Lotus has thrown some of their silkworms in the stream? So, ano ang ginawa ni Aduwo nung nakita niya na ninanakaw ni Lotus yung mga silkworms ng family nila? Ginawa niya. So, despite her actions, he let her go and tells no one about what she did. So, imagine, no? Kinuha ng ibang silkworms nila ni Lotus pero hindi nagalit si Aduwo. Now, let's continue. Seeing the two together, neighbors assume that they are having an affair and that the silkworm crop has been jinxed. The news quickly reaches Dongbao. Unconvinced by his son's denials, the old man carefully inspects the silkworm room for signs of ill omens. And though finding none, he is still full of misgiving about the future. So maraming nakakita dito kay Dongbao, ay kay Aduwo at kay Lotus at napagkamalan silang merong affair. Di ba si Lotus may asawa na rin. So, nagkaroon sila ng affair at yung affair na daw yun baka maging dahilan bakit pati yung mga silkworms ng pamilya ni Dongbao ay maging unsuccessful. Now, what do the neighbors assume after seeing the younger son and Lotus together? Ano kaya? So, they assume very good that the two are having an affair at yung action nila may have brought bad luck to the silkworm crops. Next question. How does Dongbao react when he hears the rumors about his son? Naniwala ba siya? Okay, so sabi dito, he doesn't believe his son's denials. So, kahit nagde-deny yung anak niya, ang mas pinaniwalaan niya pa rin yung mga rumors about his son at ni Lotus. And because of that, he still inspects the silkworm room for signs of ill omens. So, tinitingnan niya, may malas ba dun? So, what is Dongbao's state of mind after checking the silkworm room? So, even though he finds no sign of misfortune, he remains uneasy and full of worry about the future. So, nagdududa pa rin siya at nag-worry na baka hindi maging successful yung kanilang pag-raise ng silkworm. So, Dongbao silkworm harvest, like that of everyone else in the village, is prodigious. The best he has seen in decades, with more than 500 pounds of cocoons. Just as everybody is about to celebrate this fortuitous event, however, news comes that because of the war, none of the silk weaving factories in immediate area will be open for the season. So to sell their crop, the peasants must travel 5 days to distant factories. So, anong nangyari? Nung na-harvest na ni Dongbao, nung family ni Dongbao yung kanilang silkworm, it is successful. So, best he has seen in decades. So, almost 500 pounds of cocoons daw yung na-produce ng kanilang silkworm. Kaya lang, when they were about to celebrate, ano yung nalaman nila? So, they learned that wala na daw yung mga silk weaving factory. Sarado na because of the war. Di ba nga nagkagera? Because of the war between Japanese and the Chinese in Shanghai, nasa Shanghai yung mga silk weaving factories. So, close doon. So, nalulungkot ngayon sila kasi hindi nila alam kung saan nila ibebenta yung mga na-harvest nila na cocoons from the silkworm. With no other options available, the two sons set out. When they returned, Dongbao learns that because of the market glut, the prices were low. Moreover, his cocoons from Chinese rather than foreign eggs brought an even lower price. In short, he and his fellow villagers, for all their Herculean efforts, have not sold enough even to cover their expenses. In fact, as tax collectors and moneylenders invade the village to demand payment, they are worse off more than when they started. So, yung two sons ni Dongbao, si Aduo at si Asu, so, nag-travel sila for 5 days para makahanap ng bibili nung kanilang na-harvest na cocoon. Kaya lang, nabili. So, nalaman nila na yung price sa market nung kanilang cocoon ay mababang binibenta. In fact, sobrang baba na hindi rin sila tumubo, no? So, yung kita nila ay mas malaki pa din yung kanilang expenses, yung ginastos nila, pambili ng mulberry, yung pagod nila sa pag-aalaga ay mas malaki pa rin compare doon sa kanilang napagbentahan. And that is the end of our story, The Silkworm. Stay dry and stay safe, everyone. Bye!